Yeah, I said it. It is. And we are talking to untethered women. That's right. You want to become, maybe you're tethered right now. That means you are attached to a person, a man, a government, your religious leaders, your anything, okay? You are not aware of your true identity, your true power, your true wisdom that you already have within you, okay? So I'm helping build those women. Okay, this is for the untethered women. I want you to know that you were called for a purpose, not just spiritually, all right, but physically. And so, how do we do that? We're talking about insulin today. It's not just about calories, it's about insulin. This is also a faith message. Kind of tie them all together. I tie them together. I think it's important to do that. And if your body feels like it's fighting you, do you feel like if you're a woman over 40, you might be dealing with some extra body fat, extra belly fat? Your hormones are out of whack. I don't know where you're at. Put it in the comments. Say hi. Tell me where you're joining from. Tell me what you're experiencing. Let's talk about it. Because most women are just counting calories, or maybe you're not counting calories. You don't give a rat's ass. You'll eat what you eat. Maybe that's, the season that you're in. But they never taught you it's about hormones. Let's talk about some hormones, okay? And I've experienced all the things, so I feel like I'm a good candidate to speak on it, a good leader on that. The scripture that we're anchoring to today is Galatians 5:13, and it says, "For you have been called." Did you realize that, ladies? You have been called. You have. You are a leader. You have experience that has brought you to this place that you are standing right now in your life. And that experience someone else needs from you to help move them forward. So tell me where you're at. Do you realize that? Do you realize that you have a calling in this life? That's why you're here. Okay. Calling, when you have a calling, it requires some responsibility. Okay. It requires some discipline. It does. And you can't fully walk in your purpose if you're exhausted, if you're influenced, if you're tethered, if you're storing fat from chronic stress, okay, or dependent on, or you're confused. Okay, we can't have that. Freedom includes understanding how your body works, understanding your mind, your discipline, everything that makes you the most powerful woman that you can possibly be. You're dangerously confident, okay? What is insulin? What is it actually? Do you guys talk about it? Do you think about it? Do you know about it? How it works? Okay, insulin is not the villain. It's the storage, but it is the storage hormone. It is. When you're eating carbs, your blood sugar rises, right? Your insulin rises when you're eating carbs. Your insulin stores energy, all right? That part's normal, okay? But when insulin stays elevated all day from snacking, from stress, yes, stress holds on to that insulin, it holds on to fat, okay? Poor sleep. You got to get good sleep. That's when your body's doing all of its repairs. Okay, high carb frequency eating. Are you eating a lot of carbs? Tell me where you're at. Maybe you're fit. Maybe you already know this stuff, okay? We're on the same team. I'm on the team but I get where you've been too if you're overweight, because I was overweight. All right, I've been through all of this. So I've learned, all right? And we're going to talk. So what happens is you stay in that storage mode. You're storing that fat and it just hangs on. And I personally didn't like it. I don't like that extra fat. It makes me feel a little insecure, okay? Because I want to get into a bikini. I want to look hot. I want to be desired, okay? I want people to take a sec. Whoa, did you see her? Okay? I want that. I like that. It feels good. I want to look at myself in the mirror and go, damn, I did that. Okay? And I want that for you. I want that for you. That's why I'm sharing this. Okay? So you don't want to stay in storage mode. Okay? And visceral fat, that's the deep belly fat. Have you seen the body, y'all? The body and how the visceral fat looks around your organs? Oh my gosh. Take a look at that. Look at the body and how that fat is stored around your organs. It's actually pretty nasty. It made me sick. I wanted to, okay. So that deep belly fat is stored around your organs. It's highly responsible or responsive to your insulin. Okay. And that's why many women say, I eat clean, but my waist doesn't move. I don't get it, guys. I've been there. I have been there. I was that one that said that. Okay. So let's talk about the structure. This is structured meals. All right. So structured meals means maybe 2 to 3 real food. I have to stress the whole real food. Okay. Because if you're out there buying all that processed junk, that's not good. It's not real food. Think about it. Your body doesn't know how to metabolize that. I mean, it would be setting off alarms like, hello, what is this you're feeding me? And it's going to be confused. It's going to totally F up your metabolism, right? Okay, so that's why you got to eat real food, all right? And the meat, I don't even trust the meat in the grocery stores anymore. I would say find a local or even a farmer, rancher out of the state because they'll ship stuff to you, okay? So I recommend finding a rancher that you know, like, and trust. Guys, you can go on Instagram and put in the search field rancher and click tags. And they will tag, if they're doing their hashtags right, you can find ranchers and you can get to know them online and begin to build trust and learn about them. Okay, if you need some ideas, send it my way. I'll share some ideas with you. But structured meals means 2 to 3 real meals. Okay, protein forward. You want to make sure you're getting your protein. That's so important. Okay, good protein. Fiber. Okay, we need some fiber. No grazing. That's a big thing. You don't want to be grazing. Okay, so what I used to do, I used to eat 5 meals a day. When I started my fitness journey, I was eating 5 meals a day. And I know there's people out there that are eating 5 meals a day, but some of those people, okay, like your bodybuilders, they're taking anabolic things, to, help them achieve their desired goal. Okay. Well, I'm talking about being natural. Okay. Things that you can do without taking steroids or um, male male hormones, unless you don't if you want to grow a lot of hair and you want to make your lips on your vagina like get all big and puffy, that happens when you take those kind of hormones or those type of medications. And I really don't want that. And so I'm more of let's see what we can do. I'm not against peptides. But some of these hardcore things that other women are taking in their bodybuilding, that's not my jam. That's not my jam. I don't judge you for it. That's just you. That's just what you want to do. But that's not my thing. Okay. So anyway, I used to eat 5 meals a day. And I know those women that are prepping, okay, they'll first, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. Okay. That really large look. But I'm not judging others if that's what you want, okay? But I know that there's a time when you need to maybe up your calories because you're building muscle. That's a real thing. But if you're looking to reduce your visceral fat, I'm talking about that right now, specifically your insulin and the visceral fat, okay? So no grazing. 2 to 3 protein or protein forward real meals, that is sufficient. Isn't it crazy? I think we've been overeating our whole lives. Because they push that. They're showing like on TV, every commercial's on food and on a restaurant and everything looks so good. So you have to have discipline. And you know what? With strong discipline, it gives you freedom to say no. No, that's not my thing. All right. So why do you want to do that? Okay. 2 to 3 meals, protein forward, fiber, no grazing. All right. And I'm not saying no carbs. I used to really limit my carbs, and I still do actually. But the timing of the carbs is really important. You want to time your carbs close to like right after your workout. You want to have some like a sweet potato or some jasmine rice. Maybe you like, I like brown rice too, but they say jasmine rice is better than the brown rice. But I really do like brown rice. And then, or even a potato, okay? But you want to time it after your meals, and you always want to have a protein with it. That's the key. All right. And so why do you want to do that? Because insulin needs time to fall. So insulin is what is going to create problems for you. And that's why you're holding on to visceral fat. That's also, you guys, what causes disease. Okay. Obesity, what causes diabetes, many things. Okay. So that's why it's so important. People get on all these medications to help with like diabetes, but if they just do this, they could reverse disease. If they do what I'm talking about, you'll change your whole life. It's life changing. Okay. So insulin needs time to fall. Think of it like this. Okay. Think of going to, I don't know, a restaurant, or you have a house to clean. Okay. Imagine that your child, let's just use your child because we know how the kids can like turn things up. Like they just pull out all the toys, right? And they dump them all over the room. And you walk in and it's like a clusterfuck, right? And so you've got all these toys out. And it just feels like I never can keep my house clean. Like these kids are just like messing up my house all the time. And it makes you feel icky, right? Okay, so imagine your body. You never give it time to rest. Okay? So it never has time. Imagine when you take a break from eating, there's no grazing, and maybe you fast from a certain time of the night until the next day, 14 to 16 hours, maybe 18 to 20 hours, whatever it is. But you take that break. Imagine the little cleaner guys inside your body, like they're sweeping. Okay, they're getting rid of all the junk, all the garbage in your body, all the bad cells in your body. It's cleaning things up. Isn't that amazing? If we just think of things logically, it makes total sense. Okay, it's also sweeping out all that visceral fat. It has time to take the energy from that fat and use it. Okay, that's been stored. So insulin needs time to fall. Okay, fat burning happens when insulin is low. Fat burning happens when insulin is low. So you got to give it time. You've got to keep your insulin low. Constant nibbling equals constant storage. It's really simple. So if you say insulin isn't your enemy, it's the chaos that comes with the insulin. Okay. Let's talk about fasting. I'm going to use my own personal experience. I have been playing around with fasting like crazy. I've never been a faster, you guys. I used to, when I was going to church, this is a true story. When I first started going to church and I was, a leader in the church, I remember I didn't grow up in the church. I was a convert. And so, and I was starting to follow these health regimens, right? And I was like, I have to eat. I have to eat because if I don't eat, my body's going to think I'm starving, and then it's going to start hanging on to things. And that can be true to some extent. But your body, I'm learning so much more about the body and how we are able to tap in to the visceral fat. And then I'm also learning more about the insulin, okay? Because that's why all these GLP-1s, the GLP-2, the Retta, all of these are like blowing up because people are just trying to do the shortcut. This is, if you don't want to have to do that, because there's side effects with those. I think out of all of them, the Retta is probably the best option. But if you don't even want to do those, and a lot of those, keep in mind, when you get off, then you're going to go right back. It's going to go right back. So if you can learn how to optimize your body without those, you're going to be so much further, okay? So anyway, I used to tell my family, I'm not going to not eat. My family would say, we're just going to fast and we'll just eat dinner. And I would say, no, I'm eating breakfast. I'm eating before we go to church. I'm eating something small. It was always eggs. Okay. So I'm going to have some eggs before we go. And granted, I lost weight. Okay. I lost weight. I lost like 25 pounds by doing this, eating cleaner, changing my diet, working out. So I did a great job. But then you kind of hit the ceiling and it's like, how do I get past this next level, and so I've been playing around with different things. It's good to experiment, I think so anyway. And I'm my own guinea pig. So anyway, fasting has been really great for me. It's really tapped into some visceral fat. I feel lean, I feel healthy, I feel so much better. I've also, because I've been doing more fasting, and implemented that, it's actually, I'm changing my workout too. I'm kind of playing around with more yoga, stretching, using my body weight for a lot of things. Not, I am still incorporating, I'll do some little side workouts where I'm incorporating some weight training, with abs and, legs, not a whole ton, but a little bit, just to still, target them. But anyway, I've been playing around with some things because if you're fasting, you don't want to overdo your workouts, like be a warrior, beast mode while you're fasting, because it can trigger your cortisol, your stress hormone. That's going to store fat. So you don't want to do that. So that's why I've tapered back and I'm trying new things. And it's really been incredible for me. All right. So fasting, I've shared my personal story. I feel like it's been great for me personally. All right. It's given my body time to lower my insulin, tap into stored energy, and improve my metabolic flexibility. I think that we do have to be careful because you don't want to get to where your body, um, you kind of fuck up your whole metabolism with fasting. I think that you can do that if you know, if your cortisol is all, you can tell. Have you felt, let me tell you the secret. I'm so in tune with my body. When I feel hangry, like I'm going to scratch someone's eyeballs out. You know that feeling? Like, and sometimes it's more, prone around my hormone, like my cycle. Okay, certain times in my cycle, it seems to be I need a little bit more carbs, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be like a half a cup of cooked rice or a fourth a cup of cooked rice. It can just be a tiny bit, and it just like, it's crazy what that will do for you. Or some salt, some minerals. You guys, it is amazing what that will do for those hangry feelings. Okay. And when you get those hangry feelings, that's your cortisol spiking, and you have to try and do what you can to lower that. Okay. So keep that in mind. But it's always good to do it after your workout. I mean, there's people that eat before they work out, and you can do that. I've been doing a lot more of fasted workouts, and it's been great for me. Just a change. Maybe it's just, you know, I think it's good to trick your body. Your body gets used to something that you do all the time, and it's good to kind of like shake it up. And it's going, whoa, what are we doing now? Okay. And it starts cleaning house. It starts doing some different things. Okay. So we want to keep our hormones in check, because that's a problem for women over 40. All right. Fasting is not starvation, it's structure. Start simple. You can just start with 12 hours. If you are eating all the time, okay, that's a problem. If you eat up until, like, say you go to bed at 10 or 11 and you're grazing up until that time, and then you eat again at 7 a.m., that's not long enough. Okay, try for 12 hours at least, 12 to 14 hours, and then you can build upon that. I did that for a long time, and then now I've tapped into a whole new level. It's kind of incredible, because I used to say I could never do that, and now I've done it, and I'm just like, bam, that's amazing, girl. Look what you've done. Okay, so then 14, maybe 16 if your nervous system tolerates it, all right? You can even, I mean, there's some guys that are doing like 5-day fasts. Like if you're already a lean woman, 5-day fasts could be really detrimental on your hormones. I'm going to be real. You don't need to follow what every trend is. If it doesn't make sense for your body size, for where you're at, 5 days could really fuck up your hormones. Okay. But you could do 2 or 3 days. I did like 3.5. So you can do it. Okay, so the 20-hour warrior fast, you want to be careful with that. All right. Not punishment, not ego-driven restriction. Okay. And here's the part most people miss: fasting without lifting weights. So it is important to lift weights because, and it could even be your body weight. You guys, push-ups, I'm telling you, do 100 push-ups a day. It's going to target your muscles. It's going to help build your muscles in your arms. Okay. You can even get a 10 or 15 pound weight and just do stuff from home. Like, you don't have to get crazy with it. Okay. All right. So muscle improves your insulin sensitivity, and you want to do your best to maintain your muscle. Muscle is your protective. It's your armor. It protects your organs. So fasting, strength training, that's powerful. All right. Fasting plus stress plus undereating backfires. Okay. You got to listen to your body too. I've been able to figure out so much by paying attention to what my body's doing. I know exactly what it's experiencing, and I move with it. Okay. So stress and cortisol, let's talk about that. High cortisol raises your blood sugar. High blood sugar raises your insulin. So that's why we have to keep our cortisol in check. Our cortisol is really good in the mornings. Okay. Utilize it. That's what wakes us up is our cortisol. It wakes us up. I immediately hydrate, right, with some minerals, some pink salt. Sometimes if I have lemon, I add the lemon. If I have the, cinnamon, add some cinnamon. You can even add, like a spicy, what's the spicy one? And it helps increase your metabolism. Okay, the hot one. Oh gosh, what's it called? It just lost me. I've shared it in some content in the past, but I can't think of the name. It's what you put in salsa. It's not like jalapeno. It's the fiery kind of spice. I can't even think of it right now. Anyway, you can add that too, and it really will turn up your metabolism. Okay, the lemon's gonna help with your digestion. The salt helps wake up your cells. It helps, with your minerals. We all need our minerals. It's really good. You want your digestion working well. So I'll hydrate first, then work out. Okay, that's why high achieving stressed women gain belly fat. Okay, because their cortisol raises their blood sugar, and then their blood sugar raises their insulin. Then they've got things all screwed up. I can't tell you how many times. I remember when I started realizing what was going on. When I was working at the bank, I was so busy producing that I wouldn't eat sometimes until 2 or 3. And when I was dating my husband, he's my ex. When I was dating him, I remember a few times I was getting snippy with him, but I didn't realize it. And I think I was in my late 30s. I didn't realize what was going on, but he said, your blood sugar is like off right now. You need to eat. And I was like, oh, is that what that is? What's going on? I was like, when people talk to you and then you're like, you snap at them. That's hangry. That's your cortisol. Okay. So when it's like that, you're going to hang on to belly fat. So yeah, that was like a sign that I needed to get something in my body. Anyway, if you feel that hangry, that's your cortisol, and it's good in the morning, but you want to feel like a warrior sometimes, when you're working out, you're like, don't fuck with me. But you don't want that all day, okay? That's why after you work out, you got to eat something. All right, laziness. It's not laziness, okay? Eating. You can be high achieving and still, handle your cortisol. It's, and your sleep matters, stress matters, recovery matters. And after 40, even more, okay? Because our hormones are so different. Unless guys have experienced what we've experienced, don't let them tell you to do what they're doing. Okay. We're different. We're not the same as them. We operate different. Our bodies are set up different. Our bodies have different hormones. Okay. So women can't go off the same, you know, plan that guys do, or routine, or meals, or timing, or any of that. We're different. Okay. So don't let any dude that hasn't studied women tell you what to do. All right. The GLP-1. Let's talk about it. So those GLP-1 medications are great. So indirectly, they end up helping your insulin because they reduce your appetite, they slow your digestion, and they improve your blood sugar. But you can do that without that. Get it? They help some women medically, but they're not magic. You know, if you don't lift weights, prioritize your protein, improve your sleep, manage your stress, the weight can return. It actually will return if you don't handle that. Okay, medication is a tool, it's not an identity. Your body can often improve insulin sensitivity naturally when structure is applied consistently. So if you consistently take care of these things, you know, eat structured meals, meaning 2 to 3 meals a day, real food, you're watching your carbs, you're eating real protein, you're always putting them together. Okay, if you're eating a carb, you got to have a protein. I just saw a video, you guys. This is interesting. I just saw a video of a guy that ate a Twix bar and then he took an insulin test. His insulin test was off the chart. It was way up here, okay? Then the next day, he ate 3 boiled eggs. So he had the fats and the protein. Then after that, he ate a Twix bar, then took the insulin test. So it went up to, I think it was 42. It was like a point deal. Well, when he had the Twix bar with the 3 eggs, it only went up to in the 20s. Isn't that interesting? So by adding a protein with your carbs, I'm not saying to eat Twix bars, by the way. I was just interested. I just found that test that he did interesting. But anyway, always have protein in with your carbs, okay? Because it helps manage that insulin. So I just want you ladies to know that you were called for a purpose. Okay? I know there's older generations, like my mom, she doesn't think she's here for a purpose. She's like, what am I going to do? I mean, there's people that don't realize it, but I'm here. I believe, and I've told my mom this, I believe we are all here for a purpose. We are here to learn, have experiences, and help others find their way. I believe that. Okay. And so I have incredible experiences that I'm so grateful for because it's allowed me to understand other women. It's allowed me to help not every woman, but particular women that have experienced the same things I've experienced, but they're just not where I'm at. I'm able to help them and so that they can help generations after them. I believe we are all here for a purpose. So I'm here to tell you that you are here for a purpose. Okay. And it includes stewardship of your body. Your kids are watching you. How you perform and how you show up, you're teaching the next generation how to show up. And we need to fix what they've done because they've tried to increase illness, obesity, all the things that will require us to go to the doctor or need to be dependent on medications. Then one medication causes us all these side effects, then we have to get another medication for that side effect. Pretty soon you're on 17 medications. It's true. All right. You are not called at the mercy of your metabolism. Okay. You're not. You can control this. You are not broken. You are not underinformed. You might be underinformed. Okay. Right now, but you're going to get informed. And then you're going to be able to, become the leader that you want to become. The shift from shame to agency. That's the goal. Okay. You might be feeling shame. You look at yourself and you're like, I don't like the way I look. Okay. To agency. You have agency. You have the choice, right? To choose. I'm either going to be fat or I'm going to take care of this. I'm either going to, do what I have to do to get off all these medications, or I'm not. Everything is a choice. You get to decide. So you have to, and you know what? Maybe you don't think that highly of yourself, which is really sad. But maybe you think highly of your kids and your husband, and you want to show up better for them. You got to figure out who is important to you. When I started working out, I'll tell you why I started working out. It was because originally it was because I got married. I knew that my husband was a visual. Okay. I knew that he looked at women like he's a visual creature. All men are. Okay. And I knew that a lot of times women and men will get married and then lose their drive. It's like, oh, I won the prize. Now I don't have to try anymore. Yes, you still need to show up like you did when you were dating. You need to be the confident, sexy, desirable woman that attracted him. So originally I worked out because it was right after we got married and I was like, I do not want to gain a bunch of weight. So I got a gym membership and I started working out and I hated it. I hated it. I did it for 45 minutes and it was just the elliptical and I hated it. And then I began to like it, but then I wanted something new. So then I started learning about weight training and I was like, ooh, I saw some women. I liked their arms. I want arms like that. Pretty soon it wasn't even for him anymore. It was all about me. I want to look good for me. I like the way this feels. I feel unstoppable. I feel like I could do anything. And pretty soon I just kept wanting more and more and more. And so I want that for you. I believe that once you start something, even if you hate it, you stick with it, pretty soon you're going to feel like the most incredible human. You're going to be so grateful that you found me and I shared this information with you and you implemented it, that it will change the trajectory of your life. And your husband and your kids will look at you like, we don't even know this mom anymore. She is on another level. And you get so disciplined, they're hating on it. It's okay if they do. You just keep doing it, okay? Pretty soon they'll respect it. That's truth. So, anyway, women, fasting alone did not shrink my waist, okay? It was changing how I'm eating, my timing of my eating, and fasting did help, though, because I never did it before, and I've just made a lot of different changes, and don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to try new things. Everybody's body is different, and so just one thing that works for one person won't work for another person. So you got to figure out what works for you. And, find a coach. I'm happy to help you work through that. That's what I'm doing. If you don't know, I'm building a killer faith-based mission. And I'm elevating and protecting 100 million women and children. So if you want to know more about that, let me know. So ladies, take care of yourself, okay? You're a leader. You're a badass. That's a fact. You just don't realize it yet. Maybe you do, but you want to try something new. I'm here to tell you it's a good idea. Okay, let's pray. Yahweh, thank you for another day. Thank you for the breath in her lungs, for the wisdom you continue to provide, and for the clarity rising within her. Thank you for her family, for the growth happening even when it feels quiet, and for the strength you are building through responsibility. Thank you for the relationships in her life, for the opportunities already present, and for those unfolding in perfect timing. Thank you that she doesn't have to wait to matter. She is here for such a time as this. We honor her and her courage, and we say these things in Yahshua's name. Amen. Hey, Leroy. What's up? Enough money for PlayStation 4. I don't play games. And I don't play those kind of games. Because it's my birthday tomorrow and I don't get anything. What? Not a chance. I like the name. Hi. mad lad, but it tastes good. I know. You know what? If you try new things, you'll learn that some of these really healthy foods, you're going to begin to love them. You don't even know how much I love eggs. I eat the same thing and I still love it. I know. That's exactly what they're doing. He said the food companies are out there trying to make sure the food tastes good. And you know what? It's poison. And they're saying it's um, from baby fetuses, cells from baby fetuses. It's really sick. Or they've taken the cells from baby fetuses and they've learned what was in them, and then they created their own in a petri dish. But guys, here's the thing I look at. Anything that was made in a lab is not real food. Anything, whether it's baby fetus cells, which is disturbing as all hell. I can't even, but also it's not real food. I just think these warning signals are going to go off in your body when you're eating that. You can't digest a foreign object. You only have bones, cool skeleton dude. Well, the name. Grace Allen, what's up? Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you so very much. I love the support. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my Instagram at The Real Tina Parker. And I'm here to bring you truth. And I'm here to protect the vulnerable. I love you, and I hope you have a great day.